Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to Firestorm Games this morning and our RCQ. I'm Oldie Dave. I am joined here today by Dave Woodland.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Dave was the winner of our second event in the Severn River Series. This is event 3, and we are starting off today with Adam versus Joe, and they are getting underway straight away. What we know from the decks, obviously, Adam is on Belcher.
Yeah.
Joe, and what's Joe on?
He's on sort of like a frog mid-range Sultai. Would probably be the best way I can describe it. It's hard for me to describe.
No worries. Obviously, this is a closed decklist tournament, but we do have access to what they are playing. Mm-hmm. We've seen an opened up Goyf. Is this more? Is it lots of Goyfs in this deck?
Yeah. So no, it's like never Goyf from I believe Tower Goyfs in the deck, but I couldn't honestly be 100% certain. But I see he's opened on fetch land and bauble, looking at Bauer's top card. So maybe just trying to get a bit of information here before he makes his choice in his turn while play.
Obviously, instantly, this is round 1 of an RCQ. You actually just won one yourself recently, and some of the things you need to do in the early rounds is feel out the opposition, right, and feel out what's going on in the actual event, feel out what's going on around the room, and when you do that turn 1 bauble, you start to get a feel for your opponent straight away, right?
Absolutely, and I think round 1's sometimes is the toughest round. Because at least once you get past the first round, you're generally going to be playing against people that are sort of at your skill level or near. Whereas round 1, you could just get anyone. You could get someone who's won an RCQ last week or someone who's never won an RCQ in their life. So round 1's always, I would say, the hardest of any RCQ.
Yeah, and you just get that. You go to these things with your mates, right? Yeah. And the big thing is like you start to just ask around, like what's everybody on, like what's getting played in the room, and you start getting your feelings for that.
Yeah, that's big information. Is if you've got that team behind you, is having that ability to go, okay, what did you play against? What's their name? And essentially building almost like a spreadsheet in your mind, I guess, of who's playing what and what sort of things are going on.
Yeah, we see Philology Archaeologist. This is really key to Adam's strategy. Like one of the most powerful uncommons in the last few years for anything related to this. And this digs 4 cards deep. What are you looking for on Belcher side?
So you obviously you're looking for the titular card 9 times out of 10, or you're looking for protection, interaction. Like there's so many hits here. And that's what makes Philology fantastic, is your deck is almost entirely non-creature spells. So it's very rare you're never getting a card off Philology. You're always something.
You're selecting from most of the time 4, because a lot of the time you're playing MDFCs, right?
Yeah, well, 100%.
Yeah. So, so good. Obviously, the Bauer's getting in. I think we see a 3+3 counter on there. I think so.
Goyf, yeah. So it should be at least land and baubles. That's at least 2. I haven't seen the third one. Maybe like a Fortsies or similar sort of like Gris has just gone in, so that makes it a little bit bigger at least.
Yeah, so that's
your creature and your planeswalker.
The problem that Philology puts in play is the fact that it's actually quite a big, tough body, and especially with a lot of prowess around them and energy around in the rooms nowadays, it can take a hit and stay alive.
Yeah, just does exactly what you needed to do in the aggro matchups, and that is just give you time. Because ultimately you are a combo deck as the Belcher, as you're looking to finish the game all in one turn. And those Philology Archaeologists, I'm assuming he's playing Thunder Trap Train. Obviously, you haven't seen one just yet, but those do form that protection against either your life total or interaction.
Yeah, and which you see that's a chump of about 5 damage, which is possibly a turn here, and turn 4, turn 5 is about what you're looking for. I feel like that might be misland from the fact that we've seen that.
Exactly. And there's another Philology as well, which is just basically just giving Adam just absolutely plenty of time. So just probably just looking for a land here, and we see the third.
Yeah, get some mystical. That's not mystical teachings. That's a completely different card.
It does what mystical teachings does. There, it's the black blue MDFC. So it has to enter tapped, but I can't. Awesome. I'm completely forgetting the name of it as well.
But this sense
we are professionals here.
This is and it's early as well. But we are powered by Monster Gaming today, so shout out that, you know.
So a bit of a weird play here for Joe is he's gone attack with Goyf and then played Shadow Spear afterwards. I'm not sure why you wouldn't play it pre-combat and get through the trample. Maybe he's concerned about something. Like I say, I'm not sure if he's playing counter spells.
Well, he had 2 mana up, right? So, like, that was probably... Well, no, he had no mana up, but, like, I guess he was concerned about the force. He really wanted the Shadow Spear in.
Yeah.
The stock up.
Flare of Denial, maybe he's playing around as well.
Yeah. Well, stock up the mythical £15 uncommon. One of the reasons why we've just been handed an Ether Drift box here today is some of the prizing. I think some of the players would rather go hunting for...
it's better than a lot of the rares in the set.
Yeah, go look hunting for stock ups and Ketramoses rather than anything in the Dragon set.
So let's see what Joe... So Joe's now cracking his saga. Floated the mana by the looks of it. So I presume he's going to get... I think Ava Spellbomb is again another odd play here. I mean, I'm certainly thinking I want to get Haywire Might probably in this matchup. I know there's not always the opportunity to get the Belcher, but I would rather have that ability than not.
Sure. Like,
because there's going to be he might just have to go play my Belcher here, and Haywire Might stops that.
Yeah, it makes Adam think I got to play around this, so I got to take another turn. The thing you've always got to remember with Modern's combo decks, if you give them the turn, they'll have it.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I did a lot of my last RCQ was like especially against Energy or Prowess or something like that. It was just saying, okay, I'm getting a turn out of this. This is giving me an extra turn. This is doing this, and like I say, that is just sometimes all you really need.
Sure thing. And having a bit of a read.
What card is that? 3 mana. So it could be maybe the Whir. So he's going to play Mana Leak here.
Okay.
Did I just step out of a time portal? Is this 2014? We play a Mana Leak. So then he's going to do the 3 counter spell, X pitching 2 cost presumably to it.
Yeah.
Not Nourishing Shoal. Disrupting Shoal. So I'm guessing this is a Whir for X equals 0.
Yeah, because
it's Tameshi.
And you go get your lowest spell, yes. And I think Adam's essentially explaining here that I win the game.
Yeah, more or less. If he's got a Belcher in hand, then this is very much he wins the game. Yeah, because it's going to be make a boatload of mana.
It may not be that though. Like I don't know, because
even if he's got a Belcher in the graveyard, he can get the Belcher from the graveyard as the last Tameshi card.
So making some mana.
So he makes 3 white, bounces, and now he can make all blue for as much as he has white. At this point, I'd probably be showing my opponent the Belcher in my hand if I've got it, just to say, look,
sure,
are you going to interact with me?
Feel as well, though, sometimes in the early round RCQs, you actually just feel like yourself, you want to have a rep at it.
Yeah, no, I get that. So that's Sink into Stupor, presumably as a land. Looks like he's losing 3 life going down to 6.
Yeah. And there's Belcher.
Yeah. And that is...
and that is game 1. Oh, no. Like, it was a cheeky do you have any response?
Yes. Turn the deck upside down. Now's a good opportunity to have a look. Just to double check he hasn't accidentally put an island in his deck somewhere. Because I think that's really Joey C's hope here, is that...
Yeah,
it was made a mistake somewhere, but I don't think. This is.
So Adam, history and backstory with Adam Bowers, obviously very long time Modern stalwart. Yeah. Played multiple years. They toed the last Modern RC in I forget where that was. I believe Budapest.
Sounds about right. It's usually around sort of France, Belgium, that way on, isn't it, most?
But yeah, day 2 on Belcher that time. Was in a really good position. I think the classic thing with Belcher, it is literally the glassest of cannons. That like you can win any game that you play, but you can also lose to just to just time.
And there's also like some absolutely bomby cards you can play against as well. Like I know Black White Blink, I don't think it's going to be very popular today. But there's nothing worse as a Belcher player of them going a turn 3 Flicker Wisp. And you go, well, That's a land destruction spell. That's a stone rain that they can flicker. And that's, like I say, that's just terrible, because you really don't want to counter it because you want to protect you.
Absolutely, and like that's the interesting thing about what we're seeing with the series, right? So obviously for people tuning in, thanks to see you. Much love to everyone in the chat.
Cheers, guys.
Skulk and Pedro, everyone who's here. This is part of the Severn River Series. This is a combination of Magic the Gathering stores. So as you can see, you've got Full Fire TCG online here. Dave's home store, probably one of the best selections of singles and places you can get, along with our other friend of the stream, Cantrip and Cards, who are running a Commander event here later today. And also with Income Gaming, also with Worcester Toys and Games, Excelsior in Bristol, Bath TCG Group, and Warpstone Games. Have I left anyone out? I hope I haven't. If I have, it's not intentional.
You got everyone.
And coming together to make sure, obviously, we can maximize player bases, we can get a bunch of coverage on, but what we're seeing initially straight away is the understanding of the micro meta will be making people do some incredible shifts week on week.
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. I think, and this is something that I was starting to think about at the start of this RCQ season, is I see that more or less are very similar faces. There's like a core, maybe 15 to 20 people that I will see at an RCQ, every single local RCQ. So I either have to be very, very, very good at my deck and know how to play against it, or I have to be able to switch decks every single week, every single RCQ, which is why I played Twin in the first one. I played Kefis in this one, just gone. I was going to build another deck for the next one if I was here today playing. And I think that's what you have to do, I think, in these sort of like micro metas, like you say, is because otherwise you become predictable. And predictability is, I think, the worst thing you can have. Because someone sits across from you, they go, I know exactly what deck you're playing. Okay, this hand's bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I know what you have, I know what you do, I know what you have.
Exactly.
I was habitually the Grease fan guy for that in the old Pioneer world. Everyone knew. Well,
Rest
actually,
in peace, Pioneer.
Yeah, rest in peace, the Pioneer. But also, it was either like turn one card, what's Dave on? If there's any black, he's on Grease Fang. If it's any other form of green, then he's playing auras, and that then becomes, if that becomes your identity, you have to be great at what you're doing, because ultimately people are teching against you and hating you out. Yeah,
that's why I couldn't play Storm too many times. I did it a couple of times in the last RCQ season, but after a while, like, you see people putting in their deafening silences, their high noons, because they know you're going to be in the route.
Yes,
and
exactly.
even if they don't see you, it's one or two sideboard cards that they can afford to lose in a lot of matchups.
But you got a lovely position now, though, where you can kind of like sit back, relax, watch what's going on.
It's great.
Practice ways to sort of be a specialist in certain things, and watch things evolve and go through. We're gonna go obviously into game two, kind of sideboarding decisions here. Joe needs to really go quick. I think is probably the only thing I can say.
Go quick and find ways to disrupt. You've got to pair those two together in this matchup, but you can't, unless you're a hyper aggressive deck, you cannot drag race Belcher, because Belcher is potentially killing you turn 3 on a really, really good hand, maybe turn 4 quite consistently. And I don't think Joe's deck has the capability to drag race, so he needs to pair his aggression with disruption. And if you remember, he's an Urza Saga deck, so we could be looking at stuff like Sideboard Piffing Needle, which is obviously fantastic in this matchup. It's not lights out for the Belcher player, but it's still something that's going to give him the extra 1, maybe 2 turns he needs to get that damage through.
Yeah, like there was maybe some thoughts in game 1 where now the information's there, that certain choices are fetches, but this is Grafdigger's Cage.
So, I mean, obviously he's seen the Tameshi stuff, so I would understand Grafdigger's Cage. Because it does shut down that Tameshi stuff. It does shut down the Whir of Invention. I'm not sure if that's what Joe's thinking about as well. But we haven't seen a Whir yet, but we can presume it's in the deck. And now we're leading off with...
Okay, this is good. We see multiple versions of multiple cards. So we actually...
2 Belchers, a Flare of Denial, Flood Moon, looks like a stock up maybe far to the right.
Yeah,
a Falagi and a hydroelectric specimen. So there's two. Is that two? No, that's two.
Yeah.
So there's always a thought process: is do you take the payoff or do you take the lands? Because obviously he can take a hydroelectric specimen if he wants to, keep him on 2 lands, but he's going to take the Flood Moon here. Obviously that probably telegraphs he's got something like an Urza Saga in hand if you're worried about Flood Moon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problem with that hand was it wasn't 3 lands plus interaction. It was 3 lands that also had a Falagi to dig for the 3rd, which is, that's tough. Like, I don't think you can really afford to take the lands in that specific hand, because Falagi's just going to find that 3rd land if he needs it.
One positive you do get, though, is you look at that hand and go, I'm not instantly in trouble.
Yep.
I probably do have about turn 4, turn 5 at a minimum.
Yeah. So there's no Bloom, there's no Tameshi, there's a bunch of protection, and is that a second copy of Grafdigger's Cage?
It is, yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's really not letting him search. His graveyard.
That could be a problem, though. Like, in you really ideally would have needed a creature down now.
Well, this is exactly it. This is the classic. Having the disruption's great, but you need to have a pressure, because again, it's about giving the combo player time. Disrupting them gives them time to set up and prepare to play around the disruption. And Grafdigger's Cage isn't really seeing any sort of pressure, especially with that hand, because we know Bowers can go turn 4, just play my Belcher. And he's going to suspend a Lotus Bloom here, and Joe's now got an old Goyf out, so he has got a little bit of a clock. Now, obviously, the mana base from Adam does quite hurt him here. He's playing all these MDFCs. There is a downside. He has to pay 3 life if he wants that untapped, which can sort of bring the clock down for Joey C a little bit more.
That's the thing, isn't it? And what we say about the creatures out is that if Bowers hits like 6-ish life, and they need to like hit land drops for 2 turns, that could kill them.
Oh, Grist comes out here. That is pretty fantastic for Joe, considering he's seen the hand of the Char Belchers. He now Adam is not incentivized at all to really jam it out. Yeah,
now Adam now has to set it up from hand.
Okay, so he's going to whir now. He can't whir with Grafdigger's Cage out. Because he's just gone and searched for a Lotus Bloom. Grafdigger's Cage isn't just creatures, is it? I thought he was anything entering from the... Skyfall. Just check. What? It's not double F, is it? It's single F.
No.
Players can't cast spells.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't shut off the whir.
So
right.
Doesn't show the whir if you can go search.
Yes, I'm a terrible Magic player.
That's okay. You've qualified now. You can turn your mind off for for the next 3 or 4 months.
Play against these weird ass cards. But yeah, so that's tough for Joe, because I think now he's facing the barrel, down the barrel of Adam. Really can afford to take an extra turn if he really wants to, and just wait for that Lotus Bloom to come off the suspend. And we know what we presumed was Belcher is actually whir, so he's got another whir in hand. So at the end of this turn, he can whir for Belcher. And I think, unfortunately, the game's going to run away from Joe here.
It may do. And Joe's going to have a lot of real estate. And do you know what? This deck is actually really well positioned against almost all the classic top end of the meta. And but Belcher is never not around.
Yep.
And I think sometimes you do have to, in any meta, concede to, I'll have a tough time there.
Yeah.
Unless
you're one of those decks who are a fantastic matchup against it, then like you say, it is very much the case of you've got to be aware of it. You've got to prepare for it. If you don't prepare for it, then there we are. There's the handshake.
Yeah, and Adam went all the way to 1 and basically comes away 2-0. So you've been here. You've won an RCQ. You've lost some RCQs, right?
Yeah, plenty.
So how do you walk away from your round 1 matchup against a bad matchup and say, how do you shake this off?
It's a lot about your mentality. You've got to come into an RCQ not expecting to win every single game. If you expect to win every single game, you're going to be very, very angry by the end of the RCQ, because it's just not going to happen. You need to be prepared and be able to bounce back very quickly. Go, okay, it was a tough matchup, or I misplayed, and just being able to like critically talk about yourself sometimes I think is really helpful. The amount of times I've gone after a game, I punted away game 2 because I did X, Y, Z, and just being, okay, it happened, we move on. You know, we're not in the best position in the world, but we're still live. It's only round 1. You know, there's still lots of possibility to go 3-0 and then maybe even an ID, or go 4-0 and make top cut here. So round 1 is not the death knell, losing round 1. I thought.
No. And it's also some of the benefits of like coming with like mates or / a team. Obviously, you guys up in full fire. You know, you really sort of like focusing in on like the competitive side of the game.
Yeah.
Lots of practice and lots of sort of coaching. So that's where like, you know, it really helps to like talk it out. And someone just needs to do that pat on the shoulder here, don't they? To almost say like, hey, you're not being Belcher.
So
chill.
don't worry, it is what it is. It happens. You know, we move on. And like I say, you hit on a really important point here, going with mates. I've been to RCQs on my own before, and it's a very boring experience outside of playing Magic, because you've really got no one to talk to. You're just sort of in your own, you know, outside smoking, thinking to yourself, well, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. And you're in your own head a little bit, whereas you've got your mates to sort of go, well, they're, you know, that Belcher player, they're the luckiest person alive, you know, they had everything they needed to have. And like, you can also almost make a little bit of a joke out of it, but
yeah, that is what it is. And obviously we're going to be here all day, and this is a round 1 match. We're going to cut away to a short break, see how long what's happening out in the field. We'll either be back with a little bit of chat, or back with round 2 if it fires up as quick as this has.
Thanks for watching the video. This is some action from the Severn River Series. This was event 3, and we have a total of 11 happening in the southwest of England and Wales. Come join us on the 24th and 25th of May, where we continue the series in Bath and Gloucester. For now, look out on the channel for more matches from this series, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content.